Brundle Nelson section of the track, and again an area where we didn't see a lot of overtaking. Down towards the front hole, and now already down towards Coram corner. And that with us on the start straight in second.
Yeah, they will be indeed. Obviously, very tricky corner is Coram, just balancing the understeer and making sure you're not taking too much speed, but also not too little speed as well. And then obviously you're braking, trying to get the car in as straight line as possible, going into Murray's Bend. So the car making its way down the pit lane. That's going to be car number 22. That's going to be Franklin, unfortunately making their way into the pit lane, or whatever issue that is. Hopefully, not going to be terminal. In fact, just going straight through the pit lane and back out again. So back out onto the race circuit to continue their race. After lap number 1, though, it is going to be Marcus Littlewood, followed by the number 4 of Andy Lowe, who's been able to make up a couple of places on the opening lap ahead of John McCoy. Jack Yang has fallen down a place. We saw him have a couple of issues over the course of yesterday. In fact, had to DNF from the opening race yesterday. Hamish Forrest up a few places, 3 places, and now into 5th place, and looking to continue that progress. Now towards Agostini once again, and with a couple of cars separated by not very much indeed, we could actually still have a pretty good race, especially in that point for 2nd, 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, it did look like that. It also looked like from here, Hamish Forrest is potentially right up on the back of Jack Yang. It's a little bit difficult to tell from here, but yeah, that battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and right the way down to 6th place actually at the moment is relatively close as the cars come down onto the Bentley straight. First lap or so, they would have been really getting used to where that wind is and when you can use it to benefit your braking. As you were saying at the second corner, the Wilson hairpin, that was going to be the key spot. But yeah, the cars now onto the Bentley straight, coming through the Brundle Nelson section. They are looking really close, right where that's looking very, very close and very, very convincing. The drivers finding their feet. Marcus Littlewood still there, the number 4 Lowe, and the 14 McLeod. Jack Yang in the 21 has been is down 4th, and we've also got a couple of cars which have start. So it looks like these cars are potentially lapping a couple of cars. So we've got a few that have had pit stops and a couple that are a lap down already.
Yeah, indeed. So obviously with a slightly sort of staggered start, a couple of people having some problems, it is going to invite some lap traffic to get involved. So make sure you are following along so you're not missing anything over the course of this race. Hamish Forrest has been able to move his way ahead of Jack Yang, so the 95 now ahead of the 21. And of course, if you do want to follow the story of this race a little bit better, head yourself over to www.tsltiming.com. Select this race meeting and you'll be able to follow all of the live timing, very similar to the one that we've got in the commentary box here with us as well. Make sure you can see all the names, all the numbers, the lap times, and all the information that you need in order to follow the story of this race successfully. We've got 15 minutes left to go of this race, so already tipping through 5 minutes of it. Have also just got a note on our timing screens. Car 25, Paul Denning, requires a working transponder, so potentially some transponder issues affecting the 25, which is a shame because well, started on the front row and is looking quite quick. Hopefully no technical problems could fall in there when it comes to being disqualified or penalty for timing issues.
Yeah, it's started but now making its way back through some cars as well. So yeah, that is a real shame. These the guys at TSL do an absolutely cracking job. That's put my eyes over the section of the track, and Marcus looks like he's got a mile just over 7 seconds, and it looks like it's going to be further than that. But it is that battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th that we're really going to be keeping an eye on. So Marcus Littlewood straight across the line there with a full solution number 4 car. Then 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. Hamish Forrest is really starting to pressure the 14 of McLeod. Almost had an attempt into the first corner, but certainly looks like he could be setting up for Wilson hairpin and potentially using that wind we were talking about as an extra braking. But yes, certainly goes down the inside. It looks like Hamish Forrest is going to make that one stick as they head back towards us.
Yeah, very well done indeed. And like you say, using the wind as an extra air brake. As soon as you put out the slipstream, you hit a brick wall of it, and it immediately starts slowing the car down. Couple that with some good downshift, and some clever braking with the trailing off and making sure you're maximising every sort of unit of grip that you've got. And what that is now is able to hang on to, because the pace definitely is there for Forest. Into the braking zone, looking out for slightly the darker coloured car in that train of 4 or 5, where you've got the leader, and then you've got second place. So you've got the brightly coloured car, that's going to be a John McCoy, and then the slightly darker one, the 95 Hamish Forest. That's the battle for what is going to be third place. You've also got Andy Lowe not too far in front of them either, only a couple of car lengths and about half a second clear. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars within contention for second place.
Yeah, and all of those were final. We were talking about yesterday and being very competitive. So yeah, Marcus Littlewood out in the number 3, and I imagine he is coming into Coram already. Some of those cars in front of him, and as we look now, straight looks like they're almost one car as they come through. Yeah, there is a diving overtake as we come onto the pit straight there, side by side. I've certainly looked at it as they were side by side, but it does look like Hamish Forest has actually got a point. He certainly has in the 95, all the way up into second place. So a cracking lap there from Hamish Forest, making up 2 places and 2 really good overtaking, under braking. So the lead at the moment being held by the number 3 of Marcus Littlewood. Hamish Forest in the 95 now right the way up into second place, and Andy Lowe has dropped down into third in the number 4.
Yeah, really good stuff actually from Hamish Forest, and that's going to be where that karting experience is coming into play, especially at such a high level like the British Kart Championships and racing for such a good team like Argenti as well. Getting that experience is one of those things where in karting you can't have a moment to breathe. Right? The minute you take your foot off the gas, the minute you get comfortable is the minute you're going to get pounced on, and this pack racing dynamic is one that Hamish Forest is going to know very well, fighting at the top level of national karting, and well, he's used that to the full extent going into Murray's just off the back of Coram. He saw a gap, he committed to it. Very difficult to get the braking done, especially to single file, let alone when you've got another car to contend with, but was able to nail it very nicely in slightly faster at 95 of Forest, leading the white and orange at number 4 machine. That's going to be a Andy Lowe. John McCoy just in behind that as well in 4th place. So Hamish Forest able to make up a couple of places on that lap. 11 minutes left of this race, so closing in on half distance. That's like you said. And that is the fight for the final place on the podium. Marcus Littlewood though is doing what Marcus Littlewood does at best, and sailing off into the distance. Cars and comedy box on the pit straight, setting yet another personal best lap time. So we'll compare that now to Hamish Forest. He's got, we'll give him a lap to sort of really get into rhythm of things in clear air, but a 49.0 is the benchmark. How close is Forest to that?
Well, he's just crossing the line now, and his lap time is at 1:50.4, so he actually was 2 seconds a lap quicker than his previous lap, but there has been a change further down the order. Jack Yang has now moved up in the 21 into 3rd place. That happened out of our sight, unfortunately, but Andy Lowe in the number 4 is now dropped down into 4th place in that orange and white car, and does look like he is under a little bit of pressure now from the number 56 of Robertson as they head round the Wilson hairpin. So that is really something to keep an eye on. That battle now for what is 3rd place, because unfortunately Lowe has dropped down in the number 4 to 4th.
Yeah, exactly. So not having the best of laps, but the key thing from this point on is to recompose yourself, get yourself back into the game, and find yourself through. We've got a car spot, I believe, going through the bottom hole there. There's a car stationary just on the apex at the moment. Not entirely sure as to who that is, but it's one of the slightly lighter coloured cars.